There are some vicious rumors and disturbing video of Justin Bieber being abused by heavyweights in the entertainment industry. And the person that made about $100 million from Justin Bieber's talents, Scooter Braun, was nowhere to be found when Justin actually needed him. It's funny, when early on in Justin Bieber's career, you always saw Scooter Braun right next to him, basking in the glory, basking in the spotlight of Bieber's talent. Now, there's no question that Braun did a lot to promote Justin Bieber, a lot to further his career, help him make a lot of money. And he did that. They made a ton of money together. Justin Bieber has a net worth well over $100 million. And Braun, the same thing. Well, Braun's got probably a bigger net worth, but he probably made $100 million just from Justin Bieber alone, not to mention the royalties he'll be collecting forever off a lot of the music. But here's the thing. While he was smiling for the camera and he was happy to always be around, like he was Justin's best friend, like he was Justin's guardian, like he was Justin's protector, when Justin actually needed him, Braun was gone. Where the heck was Scooter Braun? Now, all these pictures, all these stories we're finding out now where Bieber was with P Diddy, and he was obviously looking like he was being abused. He was being in bad situations. There's pictures of young Justin Bieber at Diddy parties, probably getting drunk. Even Usher talked about when he was young and living with Puff Daddy, long before he was even of age. I think he was like 15. He talked about the crazy things he saw in Puff's house. It's absolutely ridiculous. So where was now people ask the question too, where were Bieber's parents? And I think that's a fair question. But what about Scooter Braun, who was supposed to be the hero of this story? You know, all through we never heard about Justin Bieber in the last 15 years without hearing about Scooter Braun too. He was happy to collect those big paychecks courtesy of Bieber, but he was never there to actually do anything for him. So you got to ask, was Braun serving him up to these industry predators? Or was he intimidated by people like Puff, and he was scared to stand up to him, or scared to keep Bieber away from them? Did he just not care? Or did he just play it up for the camera like he cared, like he was doing something, and then once the cameras were off, once the paychecks were in his bank account, he didn't care and he walked away from it? And I think those are all fair questions, but I think it's a question that needs to be asked. And I'll tell you one thing: it won't be asked. It will not be asked from the big media companies. It will never be asked. What they're going to continue to do is they're going to throw Bieber under the bus. And here's the thing: I can't say I'm a fan of Bieber, but I'm not a fan. I'm kind of neutral on him. He's kind of out of my range as far as when he was coming up. I was already a little bit older, so I never really listened to his music. Of course, I've heard his music, and there's some music I like, but I was never a fan of him. But I don't dislike him for any reason. I think as he's gotten older, I think he's kind of matured in a way, and then as things come out, you actually kind of feel bad for him to a certain extent, because it's hard to feel bad for someone after they made $100 million. It's like, you're going to go through, anyone who's made a lot of money is going to go through things. Now, what we're finding out now that he went through is kind of out of bounds, and then you're like, okay, well, this is a little bit more serious. I don't think Justin's an isolated incident. I think that the industry has served up these young talent, and they're used, they're taken for whatever, they're made money off of, and then they're dumped. Now, Bieber made a lot of money, and that's good for him, but look at how he's damaged now. Look, he's had years of substance abuse. He's going through mental health issues right now. They're talking about he's having trouble coping with what Diddy's going through. Now, people are saying, well, he's worried about Diddy, or he's worried about what he saw. I don't think he's necessarily worried about what he saw. I think he's worried about what might come out that he's on, meaning he may have been abused, and it's on video, and it's going to come out, whether it's on video or it's confirmed, whatever it is. There's already videos out there that show him. Now, here's the twist of it. The video that came out, he's already older, right? So it looks consensual, but I can't imagine it being consensual if you're brought up in a young age in an industry, assuming he was abused, and then you're around these people. How do you get away from it? And then people who are supposed to be looking out for you, like Scooter Braun, is friends with all these people. So how could Bieber have gotten away from this stuff? And I think it's sad. It's angering. And having kids of my own, you look at this stuff, and I know you can't trust anybody. And I understand that it's irresponsible to send your kids, like for Bieber's parents, to send them out into an industry and then just let them go. Like that video of him and Puff when I think Justin was like 13 or something, and Puff's already in his 30s or 40s, and they're talking about hanging out and doing stuff that every 15-year-old or every 13-year-old's dream. It's like, what kind of stuff is that? And yes, you ask where was his parents, but where was his manager? Where was his record label? Where was his PR people? You understand, it's not like a kid like Justin Bieber just walks on the scene, puts out a hit record, makes a ton of money, shows up on concerts, cashes big paychecks. No, there's a ton of people around him, because number one, they're all making money. They've all got their hand in it, and that's fine because they all serve their purpose. They all do their job. But you're talking about, number one, his parents. Okay, his parents weren't there. Fine, but they were. You saw them spending a lot of that money. But okay, fine. You have Scooter Braun, who's his main guy. Where was he? Where's his PR people? There was definitely a few of them all through the years. They were not there. What about the record label heads? They were not there. But you know where they probably were? They were probably at these Diddy parties where Justin was at and where Justin was being victimized. That's probably where they were at. And he was probably introduced to substances at a young age that got him hooked on that. And it's bad news all the way around. And you have sympathy for him. Yes, he's made a lot of money, but what's going to be next? And that's probably what he's worried about, is what's going to come out, what's going to be next. Because if he was abused from a young age and brought through the industry like that, he probably doesn't want that being exposed. I mean, that's so you got to ask what's coming next, and what's going to happen next, and who else are not only the victims but the perpetrators in all this.